For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Come on in to Toyota of Hollywood, where curiosity and extraordinary deals await you. Your golden ticket buys a 2025 Corolla, not $26,000, $17,988. And we've got sweet deals with 0% financing for 72 months, 0 down. Enter our world of wonder, and we'll show you why we're the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, InterMiamiCF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
This is the Big O Show. 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 Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Link, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Link.
The Memorial Day event starts now at Florida's #1 volume Subaru store, Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy a new Subaru today with financing as low as 0% APR, or lease a new Outback for only $278 a month. Shop SPPLove.com.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff, formerly of Welton Rayon, PA, a longtime sponsor of the Big O Show. Now that Dan retired, I opened Welton Associates. I started this firm with a simple belief. When you hire a lawyer, you should be able to talk to your lawyer. For nearly 30 years, I have helped Floridians through serious legal problems. At my firm, you get direct access to me, clear communication, and a lawyer who knows the details of your case. I believe technology should make legal representation easier, not more impersonal. At Welton Associates, you get direct access to me, clear answers, personal attention, and real advocacy. Look us up at weltlawfirm.com or give me a call at 954-966-4646. Consultations are always free, and let me know that you found me at the Big O Show.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Welcome aboard. Good afternoon, boys and girls. Time to rock and roll, baby. It is Wednesday, August 12th, 2026, and we are coming to you live from Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7. First and foremost, want to make sure audio is all good. All good. Just want to make sure. Are we good? Are we good? Give me the thumbs up because we're live. I want to make sure everything is kosher before I start talking. David Furones is going to join us after practice. After he's done talking with some of the players, I would imagine they'll give him a couple players after. We're good. We're good. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. And I guess things haven't gone well. I can give you a couple of things that David Furones put out there on Twitter, X, whatever. You can't, it's the thing. It's a tweet, right? So what's it now when it's an X? That doesn't make any sense. If it's an X, what the hell is it now? So apparently, according to Furones, they kind of had their way with the secondary today. And that was not good. But, I mean, again, kind of expected. You got Juju Brents out, too, which you really can't count on him as it is. You've got Chris Johnson is not practicing, too, and Dante Trader. Now, I'll tell you some of the things that he wrote. Jaden Daniels had separate completions of 15 and 20 yards to Treylon Burks, Vance Jefferson against decimated Dolphins secondary, Marco Wilson nearby against Burks, and another one between Marshall and Lonnie Johnson. Let's see. On a positive note, Ethan Bonner, the great white wonder, did break up a deep shot to Demani Brown thrown by Jaden Daniels. Kyle Lewis also had a nice run stop. And Daniels had his way with the Dolphins defense. Terry McLaurin had a sideline grab downfield on Jason Marshall's side, but seemed like one of the safeties' responsibility between Anderson and Taft. Miles Battle and Major Burns at tight end. Tight end Chick Okowangu, whatever, got open down the seam. So apparently, things didn't go well for it. Ricard White got around the left side for a big gain against the Dolphins' second team D. Couldn't tell who failed on the to set the edge. Not necessarily a great practice, at least is what's being reported by the meteors for the Miami Dolphins. But here's we'll get David's report and we'll get his thorough report overall on it. But I got to say, it's what we expect. They're using 38% of the cap, ladies and gentlemen. We have to live in reality. We have to live in reality. You're asking Hafley and Sully to be miracle workers, to go out there and, even for those of you that think they could win 6, 7, 8 games or whatever Omar Kelly is smoking to 10, this is a team that doesn't have any depth whatsoever. They're super young. You just got some terrible news with Zach Sealer now because he's out for several weeks. That now puts all the pressure on the young defensive tackles to support each other. It's not like somebody's got to worry about Zach and then you can free yourself up a little bit. No, that now everybody's got to make an impact to open it up for each other too on top of all of this. So this becomes an even bigger issue overall. You're not seeing Zach anymore for the preseason because this game here this week with the Commanders, he's done. The coach said he's week to week, which, come on, dude. That means he's not playing next week. And what are you going to do, play him in the third preseason game? You don't need to see crap from Zach. He's done now till the regular season, which is not a bad thing, but it also puts a lot of the onus on the young guys to actually step up, and they got to break through to make this defense a little better because you got a bad secondary. I don't care if Juju Brents comes back. I can't count on Juju Brents, as you can see. And Dante Trader has never accomplished anything. He's flashed a couple of plays, hasn't done anything whatsoever. And Chris Johnson's a rookie. What are we expecting Chris Johnson to be a shutdown corner right away? I would love it, but rookies are rookies. They've got to grow, and some of them take a little longer than others. You never know. That's why you have to be realistic that this is a transition year. This is a year where you're going to suffer some setbacks. Your team's not going to be that good. They almost knocked down the castle here. They've got a Game of Thrones theme going on here at Toyota of Hollywood. And by the way, they did a dragon in balloons that is just absolutely badass. I actually could email myself the dragon and show you guys some of the pictures. Let's see. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. So just in case, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you're gonna love the way everything is dressed up here at Toyota of Hollywood. And whoever did, I mean, the balloon work that they do here every month is absolutely insane. And I've got to take more pictures of it all and kind of post it on social media there. But I'm going to show you the one with the dragon, and you're going to absolutely love that thing, man. It is really, really cool. Impressive. You got to give people credit when they've got that skill. Somebody put on social media, Marino C on social media goes, "Road to Manning starts today." It is true. Road to Manning starts today, and I think it gives people an opportunity to be a little bit more realistic, and that's really what it's all about. Folks need to be a little bit more realistic, and they're not, unfortunately. I think I've got it now. You know, it's kind of dangerous when I do these kind of things. Okay. We're going to share a screen. No. Wait a minute. See, I told you this becomes kind of no, again. Yeah. I don't know why in my studio at home I'm able to do it. Here on the road, when I want to do the same thing, it's just completely different. And I think it's because no. See, it's just telling me to share the entire screen. And I think it's because it's an Apple. And every day I broadcast on a PC that I've had in my studio forever. But on the road, everything else in my house, everything I do is all iOS, except that one PC that I have in my studio for broadcast, because somebody set it up for me, and I have to let it like that because I don't know enough. You know? So I wanted to share the pictures with you, but I can't, unfortunately, because it does some freaky stuff, and then I end up getting all confused. Anyway. A tweet now on X is excrement, says Dig Smack. Okay. Fitzgrass checking in from Naples. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I messed up. I have not centered things here. I am sorry. There we go. NorCal, giving my eardrum a workout to Bill Murray, waiting for Big O. Thank you, sir. Dolphin Dave, Jaybird, Hump Day, WNBA Dramedy is taking the focus off the talent. It's their own fault, Jay. WNBA just doesn't address issues, has no guts. They want to dance around everything, dude. They don't protect their players. They don't discipline people. They don't address real issues that they should not be involved in women's sports. It's their own doing. And they act like idiots, dude. That's the other thing. The ladies act like morons. They act like if they're guys or something. Like I said, well, why is it that we don't see any of that in women's soccer? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, Gus 1388, Big Johnson is in the house. Oscar Rojas, he's smashing it. Thank you. Don't forget, folks, smash the like button. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can send in your questions, comments, insults. Ho Yoon, thank you, sir. As always, I appreciate the support, my brother. And he just puts, have a good day. Thank you, my friend. You are too kind. Thank you for your immense and dedicated support. Send in your questions, comments, or insults. Never an insult from Hoyun. Always love. Always love. But you can do it. You can send in a donation and an insult. It's all right. We'll take it. We're big boys. In fact, a friend of mine was reminding me yesterday about what an idiot I am. And I go to him, okay, I know I'm an idiot, but why am I an idiot this time? You got to enlighten me. You got to tell me why, at least. He goes, okay, so you keep telling me to take the under on the Dolphins, that it's easy money. You did the same shit to me last year. I won money. So why aren't you betting? And I go to him, bro, because I can't do this. I'm not. Listen, I'll give you winners on our own team sometimes, and sometimes it's a negative thing. But don't expect me to make the bet. I will not bet I will bet a Dolphin or a Miami Heat over or whatever, and all that kind. I made money also on the Heat last year too, because people were unrealistic about where they were going to be, and I said, no, dude, they're going to win less than that, and he won on the under. And again, I'm telling people the 4.5, take the under on the Dolphins, and he goes to me, you're a moron because I'm making money on your tip, but you won't do it. And I go, because you're all right with sitting there and kind of almost rooting for the Dolphins or the Heat to lose. I can't do that, because if you bet an under, what are you going to end up doing? I can't sit there and root against the Dolphins, even though I think the Dolphins will struggle to win 2 games this year. I've said it all year. All this entire year I've said it. They'll struggle to win 2 games, but I'm not going to sit there and root against them. I can't do that. But the under 4.5 is easy money. That's all I can tell you. I'm not going to bet it because I just can't. It's not in my DNA. I can't sit there and root against the Panthers or InterMiami or the Canes or something. That just makes no sense for me. Even if I know they suck, even if I expect them to lose, I'm not going to do it. I just can't. I'll take my favorite team as a dog and take the points and try to, at least that way. They're going to lose, but if I'm getting enough points, maybe they can make it close. I'll do that. But, yeah, I can't do it. But so I'm an idiot. It is true. I am an idiot. I mean, I'm giving you the good advice, but I don't take it myself because my stupidity of, I don't want to root against my team. I'm silly like that. What can I tell you? I'll tell you that they suck, but I'm not going to root against them. Jeff in Long Island, happy hump day to you, sir. Ender Fireplay, Daddy Dean, John Padilla, Idleman, Ty in the Bronx, Duck Dog, Skylar Tipton in stormy Chicago. Be careful out there, my friend. Fitzgrass out in Naples. Let's see, Dig Smack, Brian Radke. What else? Big O, center your I did. I'm sorry. I apologize. I centered it. Sorry. Apologies. What else? On the clock of a top 3 pick, probably James Vivinetti. What's happening to you? Need a dose of reality. Every week goes by, another win is added to the expected total. Hearing 6 to 9 wins. LOL. Yeah, what we want in our hearts is completely of what the reality is. And I've talked about this before. The overzealous fan what you end up doing, like last year when I told you guys they're not going to the playoffs, this is going to be a bad year. And then you set yourself up for unrealistic expectations. And then when they don't meet them, you blame them. And that's what I'm afraid some of you are going to do. You're going to blame Half and Sully when they don't deserve it, dude. They're using 38% of their cap. So when a writer tells you the cap is fake, just remind them of this season. Because if it's fake, then why don't you go mortgage the other 72 again? 62 again. Why don't you go mortgage the other 62% of the future? That'll really help out, right? Yeah. Yeah, you could do it if you want. You could probably, maybe not the whole 62, but you could probably mortgage 30, 40% of it and then put yourself behind because eventually you'll have to pay the piper. For the people that tell you that the cap is fake and it doesn't work and all that, why are we going through cap hell? Why did we go through cap hell the first year of Jimmy back after Shula? Why did we go through semi-cap hell for a couple of years after Tanny and Sue? Because they broke it up over a couple of years. They didn't take it all in one, which would have been the same thing, equivalent to what went on now. Yeah. We have to be realistic, and we can't be unfair to Half and Sully. Because then at the end of the year, you're saying, oh, they underachieved. No, they didn't underachieve, dude. They didn't have a really good team. They're super young. They don't have depth. We have to have patience. I know you don't want to hear that damn word. Patience is a absolutely terrible word. I know that. I have to tell you about patience with Philbin. I have to tell you patience about Flo. I have to tell you patience about everything. Cam Cameron, you name it. I get all of that, and it sucks, and I apologize for that. Not that it's my fault, but you know what I mean. But we have to be patient, and to overshoot the mark this year, all you're doing is going to piss yourself off, and then you're going to get mad at Half and Sully for really no reason at all. Those two guys are doing their best, man, under horrible circumstances. They've got to reset the team. It's the way it goes, man. We'll get through it. Hopefully, what Half and Sully are doing are the right things, so in years 3 and 4, we start seeing the real fruits of this labor. If they're not, then we go back to the same drawing board we've been a part of for a long, long time. By the way, our friends at Caneswear, use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off there at Caneswear.com. And in person, you can also save 10%. Use the code BIG010. And online also, if you order over $99, you'll get free shipping. They got Dolphins gear, they got Heat gear, they got Marlins gear, they got Panthers gear, InterMiami gear, and, of course, anything and everything with a U logo on it. And this is the season, baby. All right, let's get to our 3A Graphix Sports Calendar. Well, the Miami Dolphins are scrimmaging right now with the Washington Commanders. Amazing, I got it right again. Well, Sealer is out. He is out right now, labeled as week-to-week by Sully. Josh Uche did return to practice. No Juju Brents, no Trader, and no Chris Johnson also practicing today. We'll see how everything goes. Right now, early reports are the team is struggling in their practices against the Commanders. Tonight, Leagues Cup action. InterMiami facing elimination without Messi. They take on Leon, and that'll be at New Stadium, 7:30. And there's a report in the Telegraph. They're talking about now Messi, because of his father's death, if they're wondering, is Messi considering retirement right now? We'll see. No word yet has ever been said on that, but this is quite a loss for Messi. Also, after 10 months owning the Lakers, owner Mark Walter has sold the Lakers. 10 months only. He bought it for $10 billion. He sold it to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger for $12.5 billion. The kind of money that you and I can't even dream about. If you're looking for custom printing and embroidery, reach out to my guy, Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. Over the last 7 years, we've had listeners, part of companies and schools and all kinds of entities call for custom printing, whether it's uniforms, shirts, hats. The most popular thing has been T-shirts for like a picnic or a field trip or a big get-together where everybody wants to be identified all together. They do all of that. You can do all of that by Zoom and email. Reach out to Alan, 786-618-1443. All right. I see Jamie Zoria out in San Jose. Hump day, baby. Jeremy Dorsett says 0-17 or 2-15. Remember, the Bengals went 2-14 with Corey Dillon. Horn Dog says, this is a 3-4 win team. Let me tell you, if half can get them to 4 wins, that would be really impressive. 2 or 3 I can see. I think it's a 1-2 win team, possibly 3. Like, okay, 4, let me tell you, Horn Dog, that's pretty damn good. With this roster, be really, really good. Anthony Kyles Campos says, mad at the Dolphins. What else is new? If anything, Mr. Ross needs to apologize for his whale logo to the team. Amen to that, Jeff. That is definitely something that they can apologize for. I would agree with that in a big-time way. All right, we'll see what happens here with practice and with Mr. Furones. We will keep you updated on all of that. Oh, there we go. Would help. Let me see if there's anything new on the Dolphins front from practice that I can keep you updated on. Austin Jackson was working through some scar tear issues, that is, or scar tissues, that is, when he missed time recently. He feels good, but was not overly worried last season when it ended due to the foot injury. Let's see. Jacob Rodriguez ascending, says linebacker Jordan Brooks. I think you kind of see that. I look forward to the pads and preseason games and regular season games because that's going to be a fun dude to watch, dude. I am liking that one. Looks like practice is done now that they're talking to the players. Dolphins rookie Michael Taft broke up a pass in the end zone on the last play of 11-on-11, the series with the Commanders, both full teams watching. Taft celebrates with the Dolphin defense. Okay. So practice is done, as we kind of figured, and they're talking to the players, and we will get Furones on in a few minutes, and we'll get his thoughts on everything going on in practice. And if you guys got any thoughts, you can share it with us. Listen, let me tell you, we look at this situation, and it's all about development. Don't think about wins. I've been trying to tell this to Dolphin fans all offseason. Even Steve Calabro, who's got season tickets, and he's thinking about wins. I'm like, yo, dude, you got to stop with the wins. You might have lost by 10 points or 15 points, but in that game, Jacob Rodriguez had 14 tackles. 3 of them for loss, and he picked up a sack. In that game, the wide receiver Coleman had 5 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown. Got a couple of first downs in the process. Kind of doing his thing. Positives. Seydou Traore, a raw talent international who is really the only tight end on your roster that has the skill set of today's NFL tight ends that you need. What happens if the light goes on? Does not matter if you're winning or losing. Okay, you're not going to win enough, and you're probably going to lose a lot. But in the process, did Grant, Biggers, or Phillips start shining? That's what I want to know. In the process, by the end of the year, you end up 3-14, but Chop Robinson ends up with 9.5 sacks, a bunch of pressures, and then he does really well against the run. And all of a sudden, you're going, hey, man, all right. He's turning the corner. It's not really about that big picture. It's really about the many individual pictures. It's, okay, do we have a quarterback or not? Is Malik Wilis the guy by the end of the year? Oh, shit, he's the guy. They don't even have to draft a guy now. Now they can use that high pick on another offensive lineman, defensive lineman, whatever it is that they want to do. Shutdown corner. You know, I don't have to tell you guys the 5 most important positions. Oh, Chris Bell got healthy and finished with 1,100 yards or something, picked up 6, 7, 8 touchdowns, and looked healthy by the end of the year and physical and had a good average, whatever it is, maybe 14, 15, 16 yards per catch. Okay, this is stuff that we can start to build on. That's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about the collective right now. They don't have enough in the collective when it comes to talent, when it comes to experience and money. So the collective can't really shine without the foundations that you need from it, which you need a lot of talent, even if it's young. They don't have it right now. You either need a bunch of experience. They don't have it right now. You need several stars. They don't have that right now. We don't know if they have a quarterback at all. There's a lot of things. We don't even know if we have a head coach. As much as I like what I hear and see from Half, he hasn't proven it yet. Sucks. But that's kind of the way it goes. That's why I'd rather take the Dolphin season as a way that it's many different races going on. The race to see if you can develop defensive tackles, the race to see if, hey, do we have a pass rush? Is there a pass rusher? Is there many pass rushers? Is Trey Moore going to join Chop? Is Chop going to step up? I don't know. I got to find out. Is Josh Uche for real? Or is he just a training camp guy? Is he just a rotational guy? Or is he a starter? Or is he feasting on inexperience himself? Because that's the other thing I told people. You can't judge the Dolphins either practicing against each other, because this is one of the worst offensive units in the league, and this is one of the worst defensive units in the league. How in the hell are you going to get prepared? If you had one side that was elite, at least that'll help out the other side to prepare. Miami doesn't have that. They don't possess that beauty, unfortunately. We have to be patient, and we have to be realistic and look at it the right way. This is not the season where you're worried about the totality and the wins and all that kind of stuff. This is the season to find out who's for real and who isn't. That's what this is all about. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't forget our friends at Welt and Associates. Great people, man. Jeff Welt, 7 years now on our platform, and we've had listeners here in South Florida, up in the Gold Coast. We've had them over on the West Coast. We've had in Central Florida, all over the place. And if you want an attorney where you get direct access, clear communications, and you're going to get results, Jeff has been at this for 20-plus years. Personal injury, property insurance claims, bankruptcy, Chapter 7, Chapter 13, Chapter 11. Things are really rough right now, I know, folks. And this could happen to me. It could happen to anybody out there. Property insurance claims, water intrusion, pipe broke yours or a neighbor's, roof damage, fire and smoke damage, car accidents, truck accidents, slip and falls. Call our guy, Jeff Welt, 954-966-4646. The consultation is completely free, so you can find out if you have a case, and then Jeff will take care of you. Good people there at Welt and Rayom. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Send in your questions, comments, insults. We always appreciate that, as always. The market right now, the Dow is up 20 points. to 53,812. The S&P is up 24 points, 7,752. The NASDAQ is barely up, less than a fraction of a percent. SpaceX, again, some crazy-ass money's coming in, almost up 11 points, up to $144. Bitcoin is at 63,449. It's like almost even right now. And just to make sure I mention it, since our friends at R&M Contractors, always proud sponsors of our Bitcoin and crypto segments, we've been telling you for years on the show, right? The SEC is preparing to allow the U.S. now, the stock market, to trade 24/7 on the blockchain. Been telling you for years this is coming. We're finally here. Switzerland's central bank owns $65 million in Bitcoin through Master, through Strategy. So the Swiss are buying Bitcoin. That's crazy. And the U.S. regulators, the OCC, is going to approve Bitcoin and crypto firms to become national banks. You think they're taking Bitcoin serious if they can become national banks? I doubt you're doubting me now, huh? At this point, those of you that did. And you can't doubt Ray and Mike because their work is exceptional. If you're looking for complete remodel, kitchen upgrades and appliances, waterproofing your terrace, your balcony, flood test report, impact windows and door installations, bathroom upgrades, reach out to Ray and Mike. Great people, big Dolphin fans too. They got Dolphin season tickets. Great people, man. And if you want to see their work, go to their Instagram page, RMC Fisher Island. That's RMC Fisher Island. And you can see the work there. It'll blow you away. That way you know when you're hiring excellence with Ray and Mike at R&M Contractors. All right. Appreciate you all out there as always. What do we have here on the chat board? Anthony Kyle Campos, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Daddy Dean, don't kid yourself. They're going 0-6 against the AFC East. They could win a Jet game. Do you think they can determine if Malik is the guy this year? That's a great question. It's a fantastic question. Is he going to be behind a line like Tua that has to run for his life? At least he can run. Tua can't. But if he has to do that, you're not going to find out about Malik. Are they going to be able to run the ball? Oh, they can't? It's going to be hard to find out about Malik. I don't know. That's a great question that you're asking. We could find out about Malik. See if he completely folds in every situation, if he's able to hold up in a perilous situation on a consistent basis, you might have your guy. If somehow or another he is able to excel in those moments, then you definitely have your guy. Is he going to carry? Nobody's going to carry you in this situation. That doesn't exist in the NFL. Quarterbacks need support. It's the only way. By the way, will Malik have a coach that can get the plays in on time? Will Malik have a coach that his players will run the right routes and know where they're supposed to line up? Will Malik have that? Because the last quarterback didn't have that. Didn't have a line that could give him time. Didn't have a consistent power running game. Didn't have a coach that could get in the plays on time. Didn't have a coach that knew how to call a game, quite frankly. I see these people throw fades to tall players. That's progress in itself. If we're going Oompa Loompa to Oompa Loompa, yeah, it's not good coaching. It's just not good coaching. So these things have to be answered. I saw a quarterback here in Miami have 2 offensive coordinators. Not 1, but 2. Oh, and by the way, he had 2 offensive coordinators, and there was a third idiot in the radio headset arguing plays. The poor quarterback's going, I got 3 people, man. I got Tree talking to me about the plays. I've seen it all. I don't know. Are you going to have, rest in peace, are you going to have a coach like Tony Sparano that has Reggie Bush and says, I'm the smart guy. Reggie's a running back, not a pass catcher. We're going to use him more as a runner this year. Does that help your quarterback? No, right? Because Reggie's better out in the open field passing it to him than he is running between the tackles, correct? Okay. These are, I have to, we'll find out. I have to find out about this. I have to see. Do you have the right coaches? Do you have the right players? Are the players good enough to help out the quarterback? Is the quarterback good enough to help out himself? Is he consistent from the pocket, which is Malik's problem? Notice how they all talk about how he rolled out and threw something, but they don't really brag about great throws from the pocket. And that's what I want to see. Great throws and great decisions from the pocket. You will not be able to live off running in the NFL. You will die eventually doing that. You must live in the pocket. And we need to see that from Malik Wilis. There's a lot of questions to be answered with the Dolphins and Malik. And we'll find out this year. But all of this is so new to all of us that none of us have enough. Like somebody I saw on Twitter, I think I'm wrong about Malik Wilis, and I was like, how could you make that determination to think that Malik Wilis is the guy? Why? Because he's practicing against a bad defense, and they're not touching him, and they're not forcing him to stay in the pocket. Come on, man. Let's see when things are really on fire. Let's find out what's really going on. And then we can make a full determination about the team, about Malik, about all of this, about Halfley, about Sully, all of these things. All right, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. By the way, Toyota is completely out of control with the Corollas now. I saw this new GR. That's a sporty little vehicle. Kids are going to love this vehicle, dude. It is absolutely badass, this GR Corolla, because they've got so many different Corollas nowadays. It's just sick at how many different Corollas they have. And it's just awesome to see how they've been able to evolve the Corolla into so many different vehicles now. And the regular Corolla LE, you can get it for $199 a month. My daughter drives it every day. The Camry LE, $259 a month right now for 36 months. The Tacoma, right now you can get it for $279 a month for 36 months, 3.9% financing. The Corolla Cross, which is another different Corolla, which is just absolutely awesome. They got a hybrid too, $279 a month for the Corolla Cross. The RAV4, $299 a month. The 4Runner, $369 a month. Get on down here, folks, at 1841 North State Road 7. Herbie Lopez, great people out here. They will take care of you at Toyota of Hollywood. And make sure you tell them that I sent you, man. Good people here at Toyota of Hollywood. At least with my son's band, we'll bring some great in September, says Daddy Dean. All right. Jam it, baby. Send us videos. Big O, with this rant, you just had me motivated to call my season ticket rep and tell him to abort. Yikes. Let's see. Jeff in Long Island says, good time to do birthdays. What do you think, Big O? Well, you know whose birthday it is today. It's Furones' birthday. So when he comes on, make sure you wish him a happy birthday there. Pat in Nashville says, you know what they say, iron sharpens iron unless you are the 2026 Miami Dolphins, who only have aluminum. Yes. There's no way you can prepare each other when you're not elite anywhere on either side, dude. James Vivinetti this year is about finding out how good the QB can be and the coach and developing the young players. We could have a great year without wins. If you play a bunch of games really close or tight and you're rarely getting blown out, you guys do realize that's a successful year. See, I live in reality, whereas, you got stupidity out there. You got the Omar Kellys of the world telling you 10 wins and setting you up for failure and setting you up to get pissed. And then you're going to get pissed at half and Sully and all that when it was unrealistic. Or whoever is bringing the 8 wins or whatever. And I'm the guy that's telling you the Dolphins are eligible for moral victories. They could end up 2-15, 3-14, but out of all those losses, there was maybe 1 or 2 blowouts. All the other games, they lost by 6, 7, 10, 12 points. Really close games where they were just falling short because of talent. But in the process, people were playing well. They were holding their own. You do realize that would be a successful season, right? Now, if you get blown out in every game and you're rarely competitive, now that's a problem. Now you have to be concerned, how bad is the talent, or how bad was the coaching, or how bad is the combination of it, or something like that. But ladies and gentlemen, you could win 1 or 2 or 3 games and have a pretty good season overall if you showed you had a competitive nature all throughout. I know. I cannot mention patience because that is obviously a no-no. I can't mention moral victories because that's insulting. They've been around since 66. But it's the reality. The Dolphins can literally be 3-14, 2-15, and if those losses were all really competitive, most of them, I'm going to come out of it feeling very good about the future. It doesn't have to be measured by wins because the collective cannot be strong enough for that. So once you come off of that reality, off of that fantasy, and you come over to my reality and you go, okay, well, we're worried about Zeke Biggers and we're worried about Phillips and Grant. Let's see. 2 of the 3 end up being really good at the end of the year. We win. 1 of the 3, okay, but not great. Okay. All 3 were feeling phenomenal. But maybe there wasn't a great pass rush, but the defensive tackles did their jobs. Maybe the linebackers were fantastic, but the secondary struggled a little bit. Things will be understandable. Things will be explainable. But there has to be improvement. There has to be a level of consistency. There has to be a level of professionalism. All these kind of things is what we want to see. I just think that a lot of you have to kind of lower your expectations, make them more realistic in a first year where these poor men are using only 38% of the cap. You're asking for a miracle worker to go to 8 wins and 10 wins and stuff like that, even 6. You're asking them to just, part the Red Sea. That's what you're asking them to do. It's kind of hard to part the Red Sea last time I checked. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Send in your questions, comments, insults. We always appreciate it. Oh, in a perfect scenario, Malik works out. We still have a top 5 pick, and we get a generational talent in Jeremiah Smith. And then you make Chris Bell number 2. That's awesome. That would be orgasmic. If Wilis works out, and then you get Jeremiah Smith to go along with Chris. Ooh, doggy. Yeah, that would get me excited. You know what I mean? That's the other thing. I've said this already a couple times in the offseason. I don't believe in Malik. Okay? I'm on record for that. So if he hits it, good. I'm happy. I'm mad. I'm wrong, and I'm good. We move on. But more importantly, if you hit on Malik, you find yourself a general manager because he has an eye for a quarterback. And he hit it right away. And to me, that's super important. If that guy can identify that right away, then I've got a lot of hope that he can then build the rest of the roster around it. Now, same thing goes the other way, ladies and gentlemen. If Sully misses on Malik, it's actually an indictment on him because you were around the guy for 2 years and he didn't work out. Well, it's not a good look either. It's a great look if you hit on it, and it's a horrible look if you miss. Don't kid yourselves. That's guaranteed. Okay? Absolutely guaranteed. That's how it goes. All right. I've seen teams be competitive and then the following year suck, so it really doesn't mean nothing in the NFL. It does in this case because you have completely torn it down. You started with your own players practically, some from last year. Yeah, it does mean something. If you're able to build something from nothing, it does mean something. It does give you well. So Dolphin Dave, would you just rather they suck and look inept for? Would you rather have a Cam Cameron like year? Is that what you rather have? That they look inept and they look like a 1-15 team and there's no future? Because it's really hard to build on that, Dolphin Dave. Right? Like I told you, if you end up 1-16, 2-15, 3-14. And you got blown out in all those games, and it was a disaster, and you couldn't get plays in on time. You pulled a McDaniel constantly. So how are you supposed to feel at the end of that season, Dolphin Dave? Can't build on that, right? Now, this guy is working with a whole bunch of young guys, still an unproven quarterback. If he goes out there and he's competitive in a ton of games, then that tells me that, okay, so if you can be competitive with very little talent and experience, well, what can you do with more talent and more experience? That's how I'm going to feel. If you look completely inept, my brother, then how am I supposed to feel the next year? That's like extending Joe Philbin. Huh? What are we doing here? What? They won the Minnesota game and they're extending him? What? That's what I'm talking about. So I disagree with you. I want to see positivity. It's the only way we're going to feel like we're headed in the right direction. What else? Big O, from the team depth chart, Chris Johnson is the starting nickelback. Do you think it's a waste to develop your first-round pick CB to play nickel instead of the outside? No, he can play both. But right now, I think they want to find out about the other guys that are a little bit more experienced. That's all. But eventually, Chris Johnson will be your outside corner, dude. Now, remember, the beauty of Chris Johnson is you can – I'm not comparing, but because he can play inside and outside, because he has the hips to do that, once he becomes, which I hope, a number one corner for you on the outside, sometimes they'll move that strong receiver to the slot, and then he can follow him. This is all part of the learning process. There is no hurry, my brother. Remember what I told you. This is not about the collective. We're not trying to get to the finish line right now. We're just trying to build one day on top of another. And right now, Chris Johnson is talented enough, like Pat Surtain was, who, by the way, started at the slot. Ended up on the outside once T-Buck was gone, right? Once you got the vet out of the way, then he got it. So they have a couple of vets, which those Juju Brents can't stay healthy, dude. Chris Johnson will be there. This is just a process. Plus, it gives them an idea to watch Chris Johnson play the slot from the right side, play the slot from the left side. See him against bigger receivers, smaller receivers from inside. See how he handles all of that kind of stuff. This is all a learn, and you have a DB coach as a head coach running your defense. Don't worry, my man. Chris Johnson has got the skill set to play all over the damn place. You know that Chris Johnson can play on the right and left side. Most corners can't do that. Most corners can't even play in the slot. The fact that Chris Johnson has got the hips to play on the outside and play. Remember, in the slot, you have no defense. The receiver can go right or left on you, and you've got to be quick to move. On the boundary, you've got the sideline. So you can play the inside and force the receiver to the outside, and the boundary is your other defender. So you've got a second defender while you're playing on the outside. In the slot, you're all alone, baby. You're on an island, and you don't know where that guy's going. And if he comes out in motion, it's even worse for you. So you have to have enough quickness to be able to rebound. So they want to find out how good is this kid here, and then they'll pop him to the outside. But in the process, you got to find out who you're going to replace him with. Because if nobody can play the slot, then Chris Johnson becomes even more valuable for you at this moment. Not about getting to the finish line yet. Okay, there's no depth here. Marshall's more of an outside guy. Brents is more of an outside guy. The other guys that are there are more outside guys. They can't play in the inside. They don't have Pat Surtain's ability. Sam Madison could not do what Pat Surtain did when he got there to the NFL. Sam was not a slot guy. Sam was an outside guy. Surtain had the skill set to play the slot and play the outside. So that's your Chris Johnson example. And what I see and what they're doing at the moment, there's no hurry to push him to the outside because we're not headed for the finish line. We're not trying to fight for a playoff spot. We're not an established team. None of this is true. They're still trying to find out who's who. So let me use Chris Johnson in a place that me, Jeff Hafley, as a coach, I won't have to worry about nearly as much. If I put somebody else there, they won't be as good as this kid. So for now, let me use my guy there, and let me figure out, can Brents and Marshall and some of these guys that are outside guys, can they be outside guys in my system? And if not, then I know I got to move Chris out. And now I know I have the flexibility of using him both ways. No hurry, my man. There's no hurry at all. Let's see. I understand what you're saying, Big O, but it's the NFL, and it's very hard to have winning seasons and win Super Bowls just because you think you're good. You're gonna be good doesn't mean anything again, but it's all about building. You can't run from getting out of the womb, my brother. You first have got to open up your eyes. You first have got to learn how to crawl and hold yourself up. Then you got to learn how to just stand and hold yourself up. Then you got to learn how to wobble and walk before you could start to run. There's a process to everything, and you want to jump the process. You can't jump the process. So if you suck completely this year, then you've made no progress. If you're actually competitive and you won a couple of games, well, then now you've made some progress in your first year. Now you can get a little more talent, get more cap space. Now you have a chance to improve the following year. But you gotta crawl before you can walk to run, my man. And that's my point. If you have a shitty year, there's nothing to build on and nothing to look forward to because you have no proof. Like I've said all off season, 2-15 at the very best, 4-13. What to do with Vegas? Bet the under all day. All right. Tyreek Hill is retired, and yet, well, not retired. He's injured and out, and he still has issues. Yeah. Adam Schefter put out a report, and I saw this and I was like, wow, this is so screwed up. Why? Because even whenever he does come back, you forget about the issue he had that he could be facing a suspension because of his domestic issues. Now, he pointed out several players besides Tyreek. And the Rams are considered a favorite this year, right? One of the favorites this year. They've got two players, Puka Nacua. He's got a civil lawsuit over an incident where he allegedly bit a woman and made anti-Semitic remarks. So we're going to find out what happens to Nacua, right? Then also, it says, meanwhile, Atlanta Falcons standout James Pierce Jr. is going to be suspended per Schefter. Former first-round pick faces a potentially lengthy, long layoff after being arrested for domestic violence this offseason. He also mentioned offensive lineman Alaric Jackson. He was arrested for domestic dispute. And wide receiver Tyreek Hill is just a kind of a side note too. But we don't even know if Tyreek has no chance in coming back this season. Who are we kidding? The guy just said a couple of weeks ago he has no power in his leg. He's done for this year. That's probably the best thing. It's probably going to take him a couple of years, unfortunately, to come back to see if he can actually make a team and contribute, especially in his 30s at this point in time. But you think about this. So Tyreek is facing a suspension whenever he does come back, which he's probably going to miss this year. So that'll be the whole year. I don't know if he's able to come back the following season, but whenever he does come back, they're probably going to hand him several games suspension. And then the Rams, if you're going to miss one of your best offensive linemen, Alaric Jackson, and you're going to miss Puka Nacua, brother, and in that division is no joke, dude. I mean, it's the best division in football, as you all know. Miami's in a tough division, having to deal with New England and Buffalo. But that AFC West division with San Francisco, the Rams, and the champion Seattle Seahawks. Wow, dude. That is a killer division. I certainly don't want to be the Arizona Cardinals. But kind of interesting that what kind of an effect will that have on the Rams season? If Puka Nacua and Alaric Jackson face long suspensions. We shall see. All right, Cash App or Venmo. I just got a message from Furones, and he is going to join us in a couple of minutes. In about 10 minutes, he's going to join us. So we will have some fun with Furones and get his thoughts on everything that happened in practice today. Why don't we do this, folks? While we wait for him, let me get this done really quickly. Let's do a little birthdays today and who was born today on August 12th. Famous people. We'll start off with musicians, then we'll move on like we always do to others. Sir Mix-a-Lot, born in 1963 on this date. Let's see. Braggy Olofsson from the Sugar Cubes, born on this date in 1962. Roy Hay from the Culture Club, guitarist, born in 1961. Pat Metheny, wow, classic dude, jazz guitarist, born in 1954. Jerry Spicer, drummer and founding member of Men at Work, born in 1953. August Darnell from Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah Band, born in 1951. He also helped form Kid Creole and the Coconuts. Robert David Mayo from Sparks, born in 1950. Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits, born in 49. Roy Gaines, backing musician with the Everly Brothers, the Supremes, Bobby Darin, Stevie Wonder, Gladys Knight, born in 1937. Percy Mayfield, blues singer, born in 1920. Now we move over to other famous people born on this date. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means, unfortunately, they have passed away. Guinness World Record founder Norris and Ross McWhirter, born in 1925. Writer William Goldman, born in 1931. Actor George Hamilton, born in 1939, still with us. He's 87. Actor Jim Beaver, born in 50. He is 76. Actor Peter Krause, born in 65, he's 61. Actress Rebecca Gayheart, born in 71, she's 55. Tennis Hall of Fame member Peter Sampras, born in 71, he's 55. Actress Yvette Nicole Brown, born in 71, she's 55. Actor Casey Affleck, born in 75, 51. Olympic rugby player Ilona Mayer, born in 96, 30. Actor Rudy Pankow, born in 97, 29. And actor Iman Vellani, born in 2002, 24. Now we move over to what happened today in music history. And let's start off in 1968. Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, and John Bonham practiced for the first time together beneath a record store at 22 Gerrard Street in London's West End. In 77, Motorhead released their self-titled debut album, and it features their self-titled single, Motorhead. In 80, Paul Simon released his fifth studio album, One Trick Pony, and it features Late in the Evening. In 81, Luther Vandross released his debut studio album, Never Too Much, and it features the title track and A House Is Not a Home. Great singer, dude. In 88, New Kids on the Block released their second studio album, Hangin' Tough, and it features Please Don't Go Girl, You Got It, The Right Stuff, I'll Be Loving You Forever, Hanging Tough, and Cover Girl. In 91, Metallica released their fifth studio album and self-titled collection, often called the Black Album, and it features Enter Sandman, The Unforgiven, Nothing Else Matters, Whenever I Roam, and Sad But True. In 97, the Backstreet Boys released their self-titled album in the U.S., and it features Quit Playing Games with My Heart and Everybody's Backstreet's Back. In 99, the movie Detroit Rock City, which tells the story of Kiss fans on their way to a Kiss concert, opened nationwide. In 2003, Dashboard Confessional, I like them, released their third studio album, A Mark, A Mission, A Brand, A Scar. In 2015, a second postage stamp was issued in the U.S. bearing the image of Elvis Presley. The first was introduced in 93. The one featured black and white photograph by William Spear of Elvis in 1955 was part of the Music Icon series that began in 2013. Birthdays that weren't on the other list: Sid Bernstein, concert promoter who brought the Beatles and the Rolling Stone and Hermit Hermits and the Kinks and the Moody Blues to the United States, was born on this date in 1918. Quite an eye, huh, for talent? It's pretty good. Country singer Porter Wagoner, born today in 1927. Del the Funky Homo Sapien is 54. Have no idea who he is, but with a name like Del the Funky Homo Sapien, I got to put it. He was born Teron Delvon Jones in Oakland, California. He's the cousin of none other than Ice Cube. I don't know anything about this. By the virtue of that, the first foray into music was writing lyrics for Ice Cube's group, the Lynch Mob. And in 91, Del Funky Homo Sapien released his debut album, I Wish My Brother George Was Here, which includes the massive hit single, Mr. Bolina. Okay? And Matt Thiessen from Reliant K is 46. That's what happened today in music history. Okay? All right. Now we got it. Now we are ready for the Furones man to join us any second now. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can send in your questions, comments, insults. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. Thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. He says, looking forward to the season and watching the team grow. I have no expectations except improvement as the season matures. My OU for wins is, my over and under for wins is 3.5. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for the love and the generosity. And I agree with you. And that's all. I just want to see competence. And then I want to see individual improvement because I've seen a lot of incompetence. And I'm tired of seeing the incompetence. So Stephen Baker is just like me. Just want to see the improvement from the team, dude. That's all. I don't think that's much to ask for any of us Dolphin fans overall. Oh, in a perfect scenario, Malik works out. We still have a top 5 pick. That's right. I never read that one. Lenny Pena, for those who think our Fins are going to win 10 games, they're either drinking early or smoking some of the good stuff. Well, ask Omar because he is smoking the really good stuff. Okay? Unless he's cutting up his dreads and smoking his hair. I don't know. But the idea that you have any chance at 10 wins is insanity. I get it, dude. Listen, I understand playing the fanboy role that people play because it's harmless. You don't want to be honest with people because, like I've told you many times, honesty is like poetry. You guys like poetry? We all hate poetry, right? Kind of hate the truth. Or you can, instead of playing the fanboy role, on the media side, let me throw you a couple of positive bones to kind of keep you going. But deep down inside, I kind of know what it is. Whatever. However, whatever game you want to play. I don't play any of the games. I just tell you what I feel. That's it. And I don't expect a lot of win totals, but I want players to improve. I want the team to look better on all those other things. That, to me, is the important stuff. But I'm not going to blow you up blow smoke up your asses and we got a real chance to win 8 games. If we did, I'd tell you. I'd be more than happy to say, hey, you know what? These guys did a phenomenal job. They've got a good portion of their cap that they're using. They got a really good shot at winning 6-8 games. I'd tell you. I have no problem. They won 7 last year. The team was 1,000 times better in talent. The coaching sucked, but still, talent-wise, they were way better. How are they going to win 10? How irresponsible is that? But again, nobody holds anybody accountable to anything. So nowadays, you can say all the craziest shit in the world and come up with all the craziest scenarios, and people just eat it up, dude, instead of being honest with people. It sucks. But that's how it goes. Moody Blues are underrated. I agree with that. I don't know the funky Homo sapien. Hey, dude, I can't tell you I know everything. At least I'm honest. You know what I mean? Oh, he's in that Gorillaz song? I do listen to Gorillaz. All right. Dell is a dope underground rapper back in the 90s. I'm going to have to now listen to the guy. When I get in the car, I'm now going to look up the Funky Homo Sapien. I'm going to do that. Dolphin Dave is, bro, Omar Kelly's a great guy. He's funny and unrealist. Right. That's it. Because Omar is a fantastic dude. But his opinions get as wacky as they get, dude. You know what I mean? But this is what you guys like. You guys like outlandish and crazy hypotheticals and all that kind of stuff. Like I heard I was listening to Tobin and Leroy on the way here, and they're talking about adding Steph Curry and what it would take, and you spent a whole segment on talking about like why. But that's what people like. They do the right thing. People like that silliness. Even though there's no logic to it, it's never going to happen. Steph Curry, not in his right mind, would ever come here because there's no chance to win shit. But, let's talk about it and spend the whole segment on something, an absolutely dumbass subject that has no chance at happening. That's what people like. They like you to tell them that the Dolphins are going to win 10 games. And now let's talk about Steph Curry to the Miami Heat. That's the kind of silly shit that goes on nowadays in sports radio and sports writing, unfortunately. Big O could have so many more followers if he said BS, but he'd rather keep it straight. Yep. I've always been like that for 37 years. I'm not going. My show has never been for that fan that needs to be told everything's going to be great always and all that. That's not what I'm going to do, dude. I'm just not going to do that because I'm not going to. Then I'd be lying to you. But it's all right. I get it. You're good with people lying to you about it. I can't do that. That's just not in me. You know what I mean? It's just not in me. I can't do that. I came up from a different era. I'm one of the few left from that era that actually tells you like it really is. Like, when they're bullshitting you, I'll tell you they're bullshitting you. Like the Marlins. I'll tell you they're bullshitting you. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. Like I said, honesty is like poetry, and everybody hates poetry. They hate honesty. That's just kind of the way it goes. By the way, the U is still not getting the respect that they deserve. On3 came out with their rankings, and they've got Miami at number 7, dude. I'm sorry. Speaking of being honest, okay? I think the Canes are much better than number 7. I disagree with On3's rankings of college football. I think it's a load of crap. I think Miami is right behind Ohio State. I think Miami is better. They have Notre Dame at number 5. How is that? I think Miami's better than Notre Dame. They beat them last year. I get it. They got their quarterback back, but the guy we got, I think, is better than the guy we had. That to me is a little baffling with On3 and their rankings. I mean, come on, dude. This is their rankings. Ohio State 1, Oregon 2. Miami's better than Oregon. Texas 3. Miami's better than Texas. Georgia 4. Notre Dame 5. Indiana 6. Indiana lost a bunch of people too. So they've got them just absolutely. And Miami, if they played it smart last year and didn't make a couple of mistakes, they beat Indiana. See, I'll give you the positive reality and the negative reality. And this, for me, is the positive reality that Miami, they did them a favor. if I'm Mario, hey, man, we beat Notre Dame last year. They got us. They still don't respect us. And Mario, wants to be better than Oregon. That's for sure. And he was last year. I love this, dude. I love this because Mario hates rat poison. This is certainly not rat poison. But every poll that comes out, nobody has Miami up there 1 or 2 or 3 or something like that. No. They've all got them. They've all settled in at number 7. Okay. All right. You do that, baby. Canes are going to prove you wrong this year. And by the way, our championship clock today on Wednesday, August 12th, 2026 here at Toyota of Hollywood, it is day number 19,204 since the Miami Dolphins were world champions. Day number 8,987 since the Canes were national champions. And day number 4,800 since the Miami Heat were world champions. And I expect the Canes to reset that clock. Now, I won't have to mention that clock again. Because remember, we don't mention these clocks until they hit 10 years. Then once you hit 10 years, you're eligible for that. The Heat is eligible. They're past 10 years. Canes are past 20 years. And obviously the Dolphins are past 50 years. Anyway. Let's see. What else? Omar has us winning up to 10 games. Clickbait. Yeah, it is clickbait. That's what it is. But it's successful. It's smart. It gets people to chime in. Mario doesn't care about that. With win the ACC, get in the playoffs, and handle business. Rankings mean nothing right now. I know, but I love that they don't believe in the Canes. I love it because I think, like I'm telling you, the Dolphins, I think, are going to be a terrible team. They're going to win 1 or 2 games. The Canes should win the national championship, dude. They should run the table. They should beat everybody on their roster. The only game that should be a challenge is the road game in Notre Dame, but I want you to win that one too. And you need to get into that playoff and do your thing again. And this time finish the job. So I'm with you all the way on the rankings. It's not a big deal, but I'm glad is my point. My point is that they're not blowing smoke and they're underestimating them. And I love that. Because I think if you line up Miami against Oregon 10 times, Miami wins the game 10 times. And the fact that you have them number 2 and Miami 7, that's a joke. I get it. Bain, Mesidor, you lost a bunch of guys in the offensive line, so it's one of those things. But I think Miami's at the point now where they're reloading. All right. Let me check with Furones. Because I know he's about to check in. All right. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Send in your questions, comments, insults. Of course, you can also send in the super chats. We love the super chats. But we always encourage Cash App or Venmo because we get 100% of the donation there. That helps the show better. The super chats, YouTube takes 30% away, dude. But we appreciate it anyways. If you don't have Cash App or Venmo, I get it. But another way to support our show besides visiting our amazing sponsors. All right, speaking of our amazing sponsors, Welt & Associates is our amazing sponsors. They sponsor this segment with David Furones, live from Virginia, after the Miami Dolphins finished their scrimmage against the Washington Commanders.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt & Associates PA Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session. Welton Associates PA, where clients get direct communication, strategic guidance, and strong advocacy when life takes an unexpected turn. From property insurance disputes to personal injuries and bankruptcies, call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
There he is, live from Virginia. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Yes, sir. I'm feeling good. I hope you see me and can hear me okay.
You sound great.
Makeshift setting.
Dude.
Yeah. I found a tent nearby. It's mostly outdoors. It's not like the Dolphins facility. We always end up really appreciating how good we have it as the media at the Dolphins facility with the covered stands, Wi-Fi that reaches out there. And, over here we were like standing on the fields, got to move around to catch different things. Over at Miami Gardens, we could see the whole two fields by just sitting in one spot. So, working through it and got to see this joint practice here today between the Dolphins and Commanders.
Yeah, man. So listen, I see your reports from there in Virginia. The secondary apparently struggled quite a bit against Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and that's the field I was mostly watching, especially since you don't have all the sight lines to be able to see both fields. Jaden Daniels just picked them apart. And this is a secondary that's decimated by injury right now. Now we just learned Chris Johnson is also missing, so didn't have him at practice, but already out Dante Trader and Juju Brents. And you were just seeing whether it was Van Jefferson, Traylon Brooks going off. Terry McLaurin had, one deep sideline grab. The tight end, Okonkwo, Lawrence Cager, former UM guy, he was mostly with the second team, and Marcus Mariota, but he was getting open downfield, making some catches with his big body, long arms. So a lot of, whether they were breakdowns in the secondary or whether they were guys missing assignments or just falling behind, it was just a lot of just easy picking apart for Jaden Daniels when he was in there with that first team. So tough going for that secondary, which has been decimated. A few highlights were I did see Ethan Bonner make a pass breakup deep one-on-one as Daniels tried to pick on him, covering Diami Brown for the Commanders. And Michael Taft made the play of the day, at least defensively in practice, breaking up that final throw to the end zone in a late game scenario where the offense started at the 25-yard line, under a minute left. And it ended up being there's 2 seconds left at the snap. Jaden Daniels throws to the back of the end zone, and Michael Taft breaks it up and got in the face of the receiver he was covering. I got to check back in my notes to see who that was, but it was Luke McCaffrey. Sorry, so it was a little white on white action there going on. Luke McCaffrey in the back of the end zone, and that was some swagger exhibited by Michael Taft there to come up with the big play for a defense that needed something to happen because they didn't make many of them in this practice.
Okay, how about Jason Marshall? Because he's one of the guys, when you talk about the names Trader and Juju, although with Juju, bro, I don't consider him missing. I consider him consistent because that's all he ever does is miss and is injured. He's unreliable, has been like that his entire career. So for any of us to be relying on him is almost asinine, to be quite honest. Dante Trader and Chris Johnson, that's a whole different ballgame. We don't have that history with those guys. But with Juju, But Marshall's the other name that people said, okay, maybe he can play, maybe he can help out. Did he do anything? Was he good? Was he all right? What did you see from Jason Marshall?
Yeah, you got to know what they're running defensively and the coverages, which that I'm not privy to, but a lot of what was being completed was to his side. So I think of the McLaurin play, some of the others. There might have been some corner routes that were going like slot receiver, then getting to the second level on his side, and maybe he's got the underneath man, different zone coverages. So I don't want to say for sure it was pinned on him when they were hit because the safety might have been late coming over on one play. I think might have been some kind of cover 3 look because two safeties, Zane Anderson, Michael Taft, were on that side on a throw that either went to McLaurin or Traylon Burks, one of them. So it was on Marshall's side, but I'm not sure if it was his responsibility. But So a lot of it was going to his side, which is a little bit discouraging if it was on him. But I don't want to say for certain that these throws were on him because I think they were running a lot of different coverages. It wasn't like clear cut. Oh, he's guarding him in a man setting, and okay, he beat Marshall. So there were some different coverages they were running, but a lot of it was going to that side. Yes.
Okay. On the defensive line front, how was the pass rush? How were the defensive tackles? Talk to me. Anything stand out there? Did we hear from Chop? Did we hear from Trey Moore? Give me some pass rush reporting.
Yeah. Well, when Jaden Daniels was picking apart the Dolphins, and not much of a pass rush. I think there were some few instances, and I got to be honest with you, it was where I was set up, where I was standing. Since we're a field level, I can more so get a good vantage point of downfield, and then so. When there was a moment like, okay, it looks like they're getting to him, I couldn't always tell who it was, but so there were a couple instances. I hope there's video that comes out if the Dolphins do put it out on maybe if there was one, because I definitely can tell you I missed one that there was probably a sack on it and I couldn't tell who got there, but still some issues. It wasn't like we've seen the pass rush get going a little bit against the Dolphins, but it didn't look like it did in those intra squad practice when the Dolphins are going against their own O-line. It looked like they were definitely struggling to get a consistent pass rush against the Commanders O-line, that being a group that doesn't even have Laramie Tunsil out there right now. So there was a play also in run defense where Rashad White got down the left side and someone did not set the edge well because he was sprung for a big gain. Couldn't see whose side that was, but there were some instances where they didn't set the edge, didn't get a consistent pass rush. I did like one thing. Jordan Phillips, he was physical, and the Dolphins overall felt they had a physical practice. Jordan Brooks touted the group for doing that. So as much as they didn't execute in the trenches, both offensively and defensively, at least they did come away playing physical, feeling like they were physical in this joint setting, even if there wasn't tackling to the ground. So I liked what I saw from Jordan Phillips in that regard. And he got in the face of a Washington O-lineman. They had to get separated. That was as close as we got to any kind of brouhaha. So that didn't really turn out to be much. A bunch of guys got in the way, separated them. I actually got to post a video that from Jordan Phillips talking about it. I don't think I've posted it yet because I've been trying to update my report and everything, and then hop on with you. So I'll send that out once I get a moment here. But yeah,
Chop apparently had some success today. And remember, there's no Laramie Tunsil, so he was going up against the backup. But he did play all right today out of some of the guys apparently. I don't know. You tell me.
Good to see. Yeah, he probably had that sack that I'm thinking of that I couldn't see who got there. So, So then, good on Chop that he gets that going, and he continues to build on this camp where he's playing at a bigger weight. So combining that pass rush, still keeping that movement at that 7-8 pounds stronger, but able to set the edge better. Adding some moves, some counters to his pass rush game. So I like what I've seen out of Chop overall this camp.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough combination that if you don't have a pass rush and you don't have a secondary, something's got to give. In order for you to play some decent defense, you better develop a secondary or you better develop a pass rush. We know there's a very slim chance you're going to have both right now. For Christ's sake, you're using 38% of your cap and everybody's young. So I don't expect much, but you'd like to see one of those kind of really improve, right? You kind of need one to then hide the other or complement the other a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And up front right now, then the Dolphins are going to be without Zach Sealer for a little bit. So you need to have the inside and outside pass rush work in unison, complement each other. So that's Jordan Phillips and Kenneth Grant. Zeke Biggers will have a bigger opportunity with Zach Sealer missing some time in practice. That's the depth chart that the Dolphins just released. They have Zeke Biggers as Sealer's backup. So it's increased reps for him. So they have to take the next step and then work off each other, like you said. And I want to see it from both ends. And Josh Uche, taking his game to another level with this added opportunity that he has. So, it's because if you just have one, then that opposing offensive line is going to key in on blocking that player. So you need multiple guys working and winning. So then the offensive line has to stay honest and keep tabs on everybody.
How did Malik Wilis perform today?
Yeah, the offense overall struggled to move. I don't know how much to pin it on Wilis, but there was a lack of pass protection going on. So he was always running for his life, scrambling between receivers. Outside of Caleb Douglas, who had a nice day, but most of them were not creating separation, so he didn't have guys open. Offensive line struggling to pass protect. Wilis was left to use his legs a lot, even when he didn't want to. So it wasn't like by design. So that was a struggle today in practice. And Wilis did throw a pick six to Mike Sainristil of the Commanders. Now, on this play, I think Wilis put it where it needed to be, but Malik Washington didn't do a good enough job getting back to the ball. And Sainristil comes up with it, goes the other way, punts the ball in celebration. Like, Commanders are going nuts. So, that was a big in-your-face moment in this joint practice that Washington had. One of the trademark moments for them of today's session. But
so those people that were smoking some really good shit a couple of weeks ago, trying to tell me that Malik Washington might be the number one receiver on this team, that may be going by the wayside, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that wasn't a good rep for him. That was we'll leave it at that. You got to put the whole camp together too, which I do like that Malik Washington has added some depth of target into his game. Maybe he can get downfield a little bit more. A lot of that though has been against.
But dude, you and I know.
Yeah.
You and I know, if we're really being smart and going to look at this, Malik Washington has no business being a 1 or a 2. It's him and Kevin Coleman fighting for that slot position, period. And the loser will be the 4 guy when it's all said and done, because as I've told you, Chris Bell and Caleb Douglas are the guys that really should be your 1 and 2. That when you look at the body types and what you want on the outside, and to make Malik Washington's life a little easier, it's Chris Bell and Caleb Douglas. And I get it, right now you can't line that up because Chris Bell is not healthy. But this whole thing about Malik Washington, bro, I like Malik, but Malik is nowhere near to be an outside guy. He is a slot guy, and he's got his hands full because Kevin Coleman kicked ass today.
Yeah,
right?
and I'll add Jalen Tolbert into that mix as well. Although he hasn't had as strong of training camp as he did the OTAs and minicamp session, where he was kind of that number 1 target. Caleb Douglas has definitely taken that number 1 spot over in training camp. And then you wonder what it'll be, like you say, when Chris Bell comes in. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. You don't want to count on Malik Washington to do anything more than be your wide receiver 3. I think that would be sort of the ceiling of slot guy, and he's competing for that slot guy as well as Kevin Coleman is there as a rookie that has been drafted by this regime. Malik Washington now going into year 3, capable of doing some things, a good guy, locker room guy, but you really wonder just what Kevin Coleman can do in taking this passing it to the next level once it's his time. So Kevin Coleman, of course, did miss a lot of practices in the first 2 weeks of camp, so set him behind a little bit. But now as he works through that, then you want to see who prevails between him and Washington, and what it's not listed as an or in the depth chart as far as like a competition, but I would hope is some competition coming up here as you get through these preseason weeks.
Caleb Douglas, what did we see from him one-on-ones and teams? Obviously, teams, Malik was running for his life, so maybe not a lot of receivers did a lot, but what did we see from Caleb, and did any of the drops show up?
Yeah, no, I mean, we had a typical Caleb Douglas practice that you would see against the Dolphins DBs. That translated over here to Washington, so that was really good to see. That it wasn't like, okay, now he shuts down when he goes against an opponent for the first time in his career. No, he kept it going. So he had another nice day. It was just basically like the same thing you see. I had a handful of catches. you see the route tree develop, him using his arms, those long arms, his body. So Malik Willis' favorite target. I think that's pretty much settled. It's clear as day right now, and the one he can count on. Actually, some Washington people seeing him for the first time were really impressed. So good on Caleb Douglas, just stacking more days, and it continued over here in this joint practice setting.
I would say Douglas and Coleman are the guys that are kind of establishing themselves, and it's kind of what I'm envisioning, that once Chris Bell comes back, he'll be the number one, and then Douglas will be the number two, and then it'll be Coleman or Washington. But I kind of like Coleman to be that slot guy because he's really shifty, dude. He really knows how to find holes in defenses. When I saw his highlights from his college days, I was super impressed with the Coleman kid, and I go, wow, this guy's going to give Malik everything he can handle. And so that, to me, that it's kind of developing into that right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot to like about Kevin Coleman's game, and then he can also do things in the return game as well, which is one thing that Malik Washington has. So has had over his first couple of seasons. So that's that shiftiness that he has, open field play. He can do all those things. So. And then maybe get downfield a little bit too. When the practices, early in camp, before he got hurt, you were seeing a little bit of that as well against the lower depth chart defenders. So you want to see him progress as he gets back and healthy.
Savanaya, how did he do with his one-on-ones and in teams?
Yeah, I saw Savanaya get beat. I'll tell you the first, and actually, Daron Payne got through him there. So that's a tough matchup for Jonah. But that's the kind of defensive tackle he's going to face if you're starting guard in the league. Like you're going to face a Daron Payne every now and then. So advantage Payne in that one. But the O-line, I watched the O-line, D-line one-on-ones, and it was a little bit of a struggle that first round. Aaron Brewer was the only one that I saw hold his own in that first round. But Patrick Paul, he got beat coming around, and then later he got matched up again. I got to look back at my notes for which Commanders defender was against whom, but then he it was a clear hold. I mean, he was bear hugging the edge rusher, and then he was. I got a little bit of a glimpse. I could hear him talking to the guy, but it was kind of like, oh man, it was a hold though. So I think like Paul felt he was winning the battle, but a referee's watching, he's going to throw the flag for the hold. But Jackson got beat in that round. Savanaya, Proctor as well. It was Brewer. Brewer was the one who held his own. On the lower depth chart, guys, I saw DJ Campbell actually when he looked solid in a couple of reps, as well as a backup tackle, Marcus Cox, as well. So Caden Wallace, the new tackle they just brought in, saw him get beat on a one-on-one, also gave up a sack in the team setting. So it's been a whirlwind for him. We talked to him a little bit. He was just about to get released from the Patriots, ends up getting traded. He's not meeting Miami in Miami. He's going to the DMV area to meet the Dolphins and get thrown right into a joint practice setting. So, he lost a couple reps there today, but hey, it had to be a whirlwind for him first day out here. So those are some of the takeaways in the O-line, D-line one-on-ones.
By the way, Welton Associates, proud sponsors of this segment for 7 years now. Direct attorney access, clear communication, results. And folks, right now, a lot of people are having issues financially. If you need bankruptcy issues right now, you're dealing with it, filing Chapter 7, 11, 13, call Welton Associates. Property insurance claims, hurricane damage, roof damage, water intrusion. Save that number just in case. We're in hurricane season now. 954-966-4646. They have their own adjusters. They will send their adjusters to whatever damage to your home, your car, your business, and then they will attack the insurance company on your behalf. You never have to deal with the insurance company. Personal injury, car accidents, truck accidents. Reach out to Welt and Associates, 954-966-4646. Injuries. So far, the Dolphins were kind of clear of it, but the last week here, injuries have started to pile up. Anything happened today?
Oh yeah, I mean the biggest one. Well, so all right. As far as today, Dolphins seemed to get through the joint practice okay. We didn't see any moment of like someone staying on the ground for an extended period, coming off. But the injuries are stacking up in a big way in general. After we didn't see Zach Sealer practice on Monday, couldn't ask Hafley about it then because he spoke before that day's drill. But now we find out he is going to be week to week right now with his undisclosed injury. Dolphins don't want to reveal it, but so that now leaves you through these preseason weeks without Zach Sealer. So this young defensive tackle group of Kenneth Grant, Jordan Phillips, Zeke Biggers, they're going to have to work now without their vet in that unit and hold their own that way. So that's a development. Chris Johnson, for the first time, we didn't see him practicing. So, of course, we spoke to Half before the practice. So we won't get that injury update until later. Maybe it's post-game, that preseason opener against the Commanders. Dante Trader still not working. Juju Brents. We've had Greg Dulcich back. Lonnie Johnson, a veteran safety, he came back into the fold today. So there's that. Didn't see Willie Gay participating. Josh Uche, though, he was fine after he had maybe a little bit of a scare on Monday, and he took himself out of team drills on Monday. He was back out there, so he was okay, full go. But a lot of injuries stacking up. Still haven't seen Jamari Sawyer again. So that's another one that we're waiting on. So a lot of
as for Zach, dude, he's done for the preseason because he's done for this game. Week to week, he's not going to come back next week for next
no
game.
way. No.
And you're not using him for the third game. And again, let's pump the brakes here. We don't need to see Zach anyways. He can get rested and get healthy for the regular season, and we're good. So it's not a real big concern. As long as it's nothing serious for the regular season, we're all good. But I talked about this before you were on. This now puts the onus on all these young defensive tackles to pick up the slack because now you won't have a Zach Sealer to play off of. Now when these two young guys, whatever two are lining up next to each other, they're going to have to do a better job of complementing each other now because they won't have the seasoned vet next to them.
Yeah, that's one thing that Hafley loves about Sealer is he called him a point guard on that defensive line and that he sets up his teammates. So now you're not getting set up on that, like a basketball player who a shooter who can sit in the corner and you have a playmaker who can draw the defense in, he kicks it back out to you, and then you got some space to work with. Now they aren't afforded that same kind of football equivalent. So, that's going to be a big onus on them. How do they perform in creating on their own at the line of scrimmage? So that's going to be a challenge for sure.
All right, what do you got going on there while you're hanging out, waiting for the game for the next couple of days, getting people ready for the Friday night action, which, by the way, David and I will be on right after not right after, but, shortly after the game ends. We'll have a live report also after that, and we'll go over everything that went on in the game. But what do you got going on till then, my brother?
Yeah, I got all the observations up already from today's joint practice. Shout out to Chris Perkins, who, as us on the ground here, we're all on our phones feeding our colleagues who are back home updating the articles. So, working in unison there. So shout out Perk for getting as many of the updates in there. Then I came in and, added my own, writing to it with some things that we couldn't get over at a moment's notice. I think I'm going to write about Caleb Douglas today because he was really the strong, probably had the strongest practice of the Dolphins. I mean, obviously the guys, like Jordan Brooks did his thing, Jacob Rodriguez, who we've mentioned ad nauseum. So I might come back around to Caleb Douglas and write that. And I'm actually going to be working on something on Liddell Betts, the Dolphins running backs coach now. He was back when they were the Washington Redskins, played here. He was mostly Clinton Portis's backup running back, but he had a big 2006 season where he had 1,000 yards. So now he's with the Dolphins. I'm hoping to lock in an interview with him and talk to him as he's back in some old stomping grounds ahead of the game, and then we'll get to game day, and which it seems like we might get Malik Wilis playing and a lot of the starters, as Halfley said. That was his plan, at least going into today. Those things can always change, but as of now, that's his plan, is to play some starters.
Yeah, I think I had Liddell Betts in my carousel of backs that year that he was hot on my
nice
on my fantasy team. So that was good. We got to wrap it up with this because you got to clear up this rumor. I heard, I don't know, but I heard that the orange dude hired you and Perk to fix the reflecting pool. So is that true that that's what you're doing on Thursday? You're fixing the reflecting pool. I don't know. That's what I heard.
Okay, so what's this? I've not kept up the reflecting pool. What's this at the White House?
You have no wait a minute. Hold on a second. You have no idea what's going on with the reflecting pool?
I've seen maybe like some like headlines and like a tweet, but I've been so locked in on Dolphins camp, baby.
All right. Do you know what the reflecting pool is?
Tell me.
Okay. No. It's the big pool over by the Washington Monument.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard there's stuff going on
with the algae and all that.
Algae.
I heard that you and Perk,
we're the ones.
Yeah. Something about Perk being a pool guy back when he was young, and so they reached out to the White House, and you guys are volunteering to fix the reflecting pool. That's what I heard. This joke would have gone so much better if you actually knew what the reflecting pool was, by the way.
I'll tell you what, though, Marco Rubio was out here to check out his Dolphins as they practice near D.C. So, he, out here in his Gators hat and watching the Dolphins. I saw
you realize
he gave Mike Cunio an interview.
You realize that your foot fits inside his shoe.
What's that?
You realize your foot fits inside his shoe.
My foot fits inside his shoe?
You don't know that one either, right? Yeah, that's all good. Anyway.
You're over my head, big guy.
Yes. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ Catch his work. He doesn't follow politics. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Appreciate you, my brother. We will catch up on Friday night, my friend, okay?
Sounds good. See you then.
All right, good stuff. As always, the one and only David Furones.
This has been another session of Wealth & Associates PA. Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones, the law firm that knows your name and your case. Wealth & Associates PA. Get personal attention from a firm that treats you like a person, not a file. We're proud to serve individual families and businesses with a commitment to treating every client with respect while providing aggressive representation you deserve. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Wealth & Associates PA.
It was a perfect place for those jokes, and I just didn't have the right guy to carry it on the other side. All right, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. I knew if he didn't know the reflecting pool, there was no way he was going to get the joke about Rubio's shoes. That was going to be, you got to be deep into the weeds for that one. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Lordy. All right. Caleb has a good day, but did he have any issue? No dropsies. No dropsies today. No dropsies. But he had a good day today, which is good, man. Coleman also had a good day. I'm telling you, man, once Chris Bell gets into the mix, because I remember all these silly articles and people, I forgot who on QAM that I was listening to, and they were like, oh, no, Malik's favorite target is Malik Washington. He's going to be the number one guy. And I'm like, I forgot who it was on the radio station, but I was listening to that. And I was going, wow. People are paying attention to some minicamp practices that there's nothing there, and they don't even know who really Malik Washington is. He's a nice player, but he's a complimentary receiver. It's not a number one. If he's your number one, you're in serious freaking trouble, dude. A possession guy is your number one? No, dude, that's not the way you play the game. You got to have a little some to play on the outside, and Chris Bell has all of that. And Caleb Douglas, if he can fix the dropsies, the dude has got the length and the speed and the size and the athleticism to be a number 2 receiver in the NFL. He definitely has the skill set. And Coleman is the perfect slot receiver, bro. Man, they scouted that dude perfectly. I saw his highlights, and I was blown away by that guy. I was like, wow, this kid is a crafty mofo. And I was like, wow, he's going to give Malik a run for his money. And from the get-go, from the draft, I'm thinking Coleman and Malik. And here I am listening to somebody on the radio going, oh, no, Malik Wilis to be Malik Willis' number 1 guy. I'm like, what football do you watch? It's like, you know. Anyway, Pat in Nashville says, oh, my God, someone has done an AI Scooby-Doo and the mystery of the reflecting pool. LOL. Frankie Fresco in the house with his Go Gators. Let's see. I want to see the backup center, backup linebackers, and rookies in camp already. Know what we have in the veterans. Yeah, well, you get to see all kinds of people, Dolphin Dave. That's the beauty of where you're at right now. We're so low on the totem pole right now. It's about finding out everyone, and everyone will get to play. And nothing wrong with that. I saw this disturbing article. If you're a Dolphins fan, and again, this is where, remember yesterday I told you I saw this article of this guy that wrote an article about Keenan Allen coming to the Miami Dolphins. Why? Because he looks at the Dolphins receivers and they're young and inexperienced and all of that. And I explained that you could listen to the show yesterday. I explained how that didn't make any sense whatsoever. Well, here's another one that doesn't make any sense. And they talked about places where J.J. McCarthy could end up. Yeah, brace yourself. Some guy named Jason Burgos. And he put the Miami Dolphins as one of the spots where J.J. McCarthy could end up. Again, because Malik Wilis is not considered a starter. But I got to tell you something. If John Eric Sullivan fails on Malik and then goes to J.J. McCarthy, you might as well fire John Eric Sullivan right there and then. Because when Minnesota drafted J.J. McCarthy, I was like, what are you people doing? That guy's a jag. He's just on a loaded team. I've seen this in college football. Guys that, they're decent college quarterbacks, but they're decent college quarterbacks because they're on a team that's absolutely loaded. Doesn't make them an NFL quarterback, and they found that out. The Pittsburgh Steelers, another team that needs a passer. Obviously, they've got the old man right now. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know what happens with Baker. If Baker has a great season, they're going to be forced to give him a long-term deal. If he has a bad season, then he'll go out in free agency somewhere. The Indianapolis Colts, they've also got all kinds of quarterback issues there with the whole Daniel Jones there. And then, obviously, Anthony Richardson is an absolute bust. The Arizona Cardinals, they've got a jabroni there. And then, obviously, the Carson Beck move. We'll see what happens. But the fact that they brought up Miami, one, it's disturbing. It just is, because I certainly don't want that to happen. I don't want J.J. McCarthy here. The reason I also don't want J.J. McCarthy here, it's because that would then immediately turn me off on John Eric Sullivan, and I don't want that to happen. I need John Eric Sullivan to have success. If he does that, and I right away already know we got the wrong GM, that would be disturbing. Right now, I like John Eric Sullivan. I even like the move he made for the Caden Wallace kid. I don't know if Caden Wallace can play, but go get a tackle because your backup tackles are horrible. Give up a 6 swap, a 6 for a 7th. I'm good with that, dude. Losing a round in the position, 6th or 7th, it's all the same shit. Same player you get in the 6th, same player you get in the 7th. I thought it was very smart. The movie made for Waddle, very smart. A lot of the things I like that Sully has done. My brothers and sisters out there, if he fails with Malik and then goes to J.J. McCarthy, I would lose my mind. And then the other one is Anthony Richardson, another bum that I remember coming out of the Gators, where Frankie's at, and I was not a believer whatsoever. I've told the story many times. I know his agent very well. And his agent goes to me, "Oh, he's a jock, what's that called? A gym rat. He's a gym rat." And I looked at him, I go, "Bro, gym rats don't make good quarterbacks. That doesn't mean you're a great quarterback, that you're a gym rat. You could be a guy that practices all you want. I watched him at Florida. He can't hit the side of a barn." "Oh, no, he'll be fine. He'll be fine." There he is. So now they're talking about the likeliest places for Anthony Richardson to end up. The good thing is they didn't mention the Miami Dolphins. But they did mention teams. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are one that they mentioned. Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, Baltimore Ravens, and the Bills as destinations for Anthony Richardson. What are you going to give up for him, a 7th rounder? Or should you even give up anything because you got to pick up the salary? Or just wait for him to get released and then try to pick him up as a free agent, and that way you can offer him a minimum salary, because right now you don't want to inherit that contract. So news on 2 quarterbacks, and hopefully one that doesn't end up here, because it would be absolutely depressing to end up with Anthony Richardson here or J.J. McCarthy. Anthony Richardson, I don't think so. But the J.J. McCarthy was mentioned, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's not good. I wouldn't want that one. We are here, by the way, at Toyota of Hollywood. Come on out here, see Herbie Lopez and the great people at Toyota of Hollywood. They've got the Game of Thrones theme going on, and it looks phenomenal, dude. It looks phenomenal. It's pretty damn awesome. The work that they did, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, it's pretty cool just to come by here, take some pictures and check it out. Take pictures, take selfies with it and all that, because they've got all kinds of stuff with all the different characters of Game of Thrones. So if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you'll like it. And if you're going to come buy a car, enjoy also the Game of Thrones theme all throughout the building. That was a great joke, Big O. The reflecting pool. That was Dolphin Media. That's what Dolphin Media does. Well, yeah, Furones is young, so he doesn't follow. It's all good. But it would have gone well, bro. You know, he could have rolled with it. Oh yeah, me and Perk are gonna go out there tomorrow. You know, we're bringing as much hydrogen peroxide, and I have a secret trick or something. You know, he could go with it, but yeah. I know if I was hired, I'd just take True Fin Fan. He'd fart right into the pool, and then everything would disappear. Although it'd be brown instead of green, but the algae would be gone. Because True Fin Fan's farts will kill algae. I can guarantee you that. That I know for a fact. I've been around. I know. Let's see, because Malik and Ewers are better. Well, I'm not a fan of either guy, so I'm not saying either. I'm not a fan of your guy, Anthony Richardson. I'm not a fan of Malik. Okay, and Ewers is just. I've always, when they drafted him, I said he's got potential to be a backup. From the day they drafted Ewers, you could go look at that video. I said, yeah, I like Ewers. He's got potential to be a backup, not a starter in this league. I never looked at Ewers as a starter. I looked at Ewers as a guy who's got a potential to be a backup in this league. Potential. And Malik, yeah, I'm not a Malik guy either. So it's I'm not butthurt by any of that, Frankie. I've kind of already said my piece about those guys. NorCal says, I don't see any more QB changes in Miami till after the season starts and only if there's an injury. Probably. I would agree with that. There'll be a QB change next year if Malik doesn't shine. And then they'll go out and get Arch and then start to turn the corner and start to play a guy like Arch instead. That's what they'll do. Yeah, I can see that. Please, Big O, don't need any more scrub quarterbacks. Oh, man. By the way, props to Paul Feinbaum. I want to give him props because in the media, we don't have enough people that have actual balls. Now, it's a little late. I remember doing ESPNU radio, and it just when the stuff in Jacksonville was breaking. And I just ripped into this guy. And by the way, they were freaking out at ESPNU because they were still kissing his ass. You know, like Fox does and all these other places that still hire this scumbag. But Urban Meyer, Paul Feinbaum was on his show on ESPN. He says he was once considered an iconic coach, and he made the same mistakes that a lot of people make. He goes into TV and has just made a fool out of himself every time he opens his mouth, which is very true. It's sad to watch his reputation diminish because when he left Ohio State, he was considered the second best coach in college football. Today, no one really remembers his accomplishments, which were massive, by the way, Feinbaum said on the Paul Feinbaum show. He was a scumbag at Florida. He had like 30-something arrests, and they win a couple of national championships. Then he goes to Ohio State, and he wins. But along the way, from Florida to Ohio State to Jacksonville, we also find out that he's a piece of shit as a person. That's all. And now the world knows, finally, that he's a piece of shit as a person. The sad part is that these corporations and these companies kept giving him second chances and putting him on television. After the Jacksonville fiasco, how do you, Fox or anyone else, put that scumbag on the air? Don't get it. Guy is one of the biggest lowlifes ever to be in sports. That's the part. So I congratulate Paul Feinbaum. Sadly, there hasn't been enough of that over the years that they should have been trashing this guy for a long time, and you should have been calling out some of these media outlets that actually hire him. But they were too cowardly to actually do the right thing, which is disgraceful. All right, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Send in your questions, comments. You also got to hit that like button. That's another way to support our show. Hit that like button, smash it. Hey, we're at 94. Get us over 100. Let's go. We only need seven people to get us over 100 right now. Right now. I know there's 129 watching right now. I know there's more than 50 of you that haven't hit the like button already. So come on, let's get us over 100 right now. Let me see that counter go and run over 100. Let's go. Get us over 100. Only at 94. Reach over, hit that like button. It gets the algorithms going. More people find out about the show. We really appreciate that. There we go. 95, 96, 97, 98. Oh, no, 96. I thought that was an 8. I thought a 6 was an 8. Come on, let's go. Let's go. 5 more. Get us a 101. Come on. Get us over 100. What are you talking about, Big O? Urban Meyer is a good Christian man like Ken Paxson. John Eric Salmon. Get your quarterback in the Giraffe. Please do not bring in another scrub. All right? All right, Salmon. All right, John Eric Salmon. Go get a Giraffe. They can see over the line. I agree with Dolphin Dave. If you can get a Giraffe as a quarterback, that is the best. 1, almost impossible to tackle. You'll never give up a sack. 2, they can see over any line of scrimmage possible. 3, listen, all you idiots out there that are dying for a running quarterback, well, there you go. The Giraffe can run with the ball with no problem whatsoever. Who's going to stop him? So I agree with Dolphin Dave. Get a Giraffe. That would actually solve the problems. Completely agree. Way to go, Dolphin Dave. That's how you contribute to the show. That's the kind of insight that none of us could ever, deliver. A Giraffe. It makes all the sense in the world. John Eric Salmon should draft a Giraffe. Draft the Giraffe. It even rhymes. Suck for luck, right? Now draft a Giraffe. I mean, listen, we can't find a quarterback anyway since Marino. Might as well draft a Giraffe. Tell you. Some of you out there, in fact, I think Dolphin Dave should be hired to be the GM. Not some guy named Salmon. John Eric Salmon. Who's going to trust a guy named Salmon? That's just, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense whatsoever. Anyway. All right. We appreciate all of you out there. We thank Herbie Lopez, by the way, the GM here at Toyota of Hollywood. Come on out here and check it out. The selection is large and in charge, baby. And remember, if you want to get away from regular gas vehicles, you can get the BZ EV here at Toyota of Hollywood. They've got 2 of them. They've got the BZ and the BZ XLE. One is 2-wheel drive. The other one's 4-wheel drive. The 2-wheel drive, that one has 314-mile range and 221 horsepower. The 4-wheel drive has 288-mile range, a little bit less, but it has 335 horsepower and all-wheel drive. So, you can go out off-roading and all that good stuff. Check it out and get away from the gas station. It's a beautiful thing at Toyota of Hollywood. Come see Herbie Lopez and all the great people out here at 1841 North State Road 7. They've got, that I was telling you about the Corolla GR that's right here next to us. They've got the Corolla Cross Hybrid, the Corolla Hybrid, the Prius Plug-in Hybrid. So if you're looking for a hybrid vehicle or an electric vehicle, you can find it here at Toyota of Hollywood. Appreciate David Furones, as always. Thank you all out there, those of you that tuned in, those of you that hit the like button. We got a 105. Thank you. Thank you for hitting that like button. Keep hitting that like button. And, of course, visiting our amazing sponsors. Thank you all out there. We shall see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same back channel.